Berg. Well, I'd like to thank everyone for coming. We've had just a great day. I mean, obviously, small business is important to me, and we've been able to meet with a number of businesses today. We're up in Minot for breakfast and Grand Forks for lunch, meeting with small business across North Dakota. And what we're, again, seeing and hearing firsthand is there's a cloud of uncertainty in small business. They're not sure what the future is going to be, and they're kind of sitting on the back and on the sidelines and waiting. In fact, what we're seeing nationally, too, is there's more cash that companies are sitting on today than any time in the recent history. And what we need to do is to give some optimism, some hope to our future so that money gets invested back in our economy, hiring people, expanding job opportunities for our country. The problem, of course, is as the big cloud is the deficit. People are concerned about the deficit, the growing debt, and last week when the majority in the House said we're not going to pass a budget or look at a 5-year plan, it just adds to this cloud of uncertainty and frustration. And so, again, when at the same time we talk today about the Newsweek article, I think if you haven't seen this yet, it's coming out this week, and if you'll notice, its title is The Great Great Plains, with North Dakota at the top. And it really talks about, it's kind of interesting, it talks about Broadway and how Broadway is alive and exciting here in Fargo. And those of us that have been in Fargo know what it was like 10 and 15 years ago. And what we did is we encouraged people through the Renaissance Zone to invest in downtown. That's created jobs and it's created opportunities. And so, from my perspective, the way we did it in North Dakota, we had a deficit in 2003. And what we did is we tightened our belt, we held the line on spending, and we said, we're going to make North Dakota one of the best business climates in the country. And at the time, we were more in the bottom half. And this last year, North Dakota was ranked as one of the top 2 business climates in the country. The way we get our country going again is by creating private sector jobs. That's what we need to do. That's what we've done in North Dakota. That's why we're making national news and really the envy of the country. And that's what our country needs to do. So the other part of this game, of course, or this business, is building a coalition and getting other leaders. And so I'm just so blessed and fortunate to have Congressman Kevin McCarthy, a deputy whip, who comes from California, an area similar to ours with agriculture and oil, to be here and see firsthand and listen firsthand to our small businesses here in North Dakota so we can go back out to Congress, to Washington, and implement a plan this next year that will move, again, our whole country forward so Washington becomes more like North Dakota. So with that, I'd like to introduce Congressman Kevin McCarthy.
Thank you, Rick. I've had a full day. A round table of small businesses, Rick has taken me out. And as I sat around listening to them, hearing about the concerns of where this country is going and where we're facing. I mean, when you look at the country today, we're borrowing 43 cents out of every dollar. And then I look at this race for Congress, look at this race for job creation, for curtailing of the government spending, and for the reform of Congress itself. There's no other race that has a greater contrast. You have the current incumbent member who sits in a majority party that at a time of a fiscal crisis won't even produce a budget. For the first time since 1974, no budget is going to be produced. That is the most important time when you have to. Then look at the contrast of the challenger of Rick Berg. Here he is, not just a member of the legislature, but the leader. Here's a tough time where they have a deficit. Yeah, you could go the route which the majority party in Congress does, try to raise taxes, but you hurt business. No, they tighten their belt. But not only do they tighten their belt, they invested smartly to the future. And it's not just the rest of us looking at it. Newsweek and others are showing it, the numbers show it. You look at unemployment across this country, North Dakota's #1 in job creation. You look at where to take America, it is a great contrast and a difference between these two candidates. One who has led and shown the direction, and one who has avoided it. And that kind of goes back to when you look at Congressman Pomeroy voting more than 97% of the time with Nancy Pelosi. That is not the direction of North Dakota. That is not the voice that I heard from small businesses from all different parties today talking about what they want to see happen. That's why this November people really have a big choice.